Hello Co-Ipos viewers. We have of late been seeing a lot of crime that's happening in the cyberspace. Social media most often now is being used or rather misused rather than used productively. So why exactly is this happening? We have with us today Mr. Shivkumar Pariniyappan, who is engaged in delivering lectures and creating awareness in colleges and schools. And one of his main projects is the cyber safety and digital wellness projects, through which he aims at creating awareness on how to productively use digital media. So let's talk to him about this. Thank you so much for talking to Co-Ipos.
My pleasure.
So you tell me, why are we seeing an increasing number of incidents of crime in the cyberspace?
See, the primary problem I see is accessibility of smart devices at a very young age. And most of our children in our families start using mobile phones as early as 2 or 3 years of age.
Absolutely.
And today, most or almost all of our youngsters in schools and colleges invariably have their own smartphones, and they're accessible 24/7, which means they can access any kind of information from anywhere in the world anytime they want. I think that is the biggest problem for many crimes that is connected to social media happening around us today.
So there are several schools, that insist that the children should have iPad or a smartphone, even in classes like class 2, class 3. So what do you have to say about that?
I think one of the important advantages of having smart devices is you can learn a lot from the devices. You have a number of applications, mobile platforms, websites from where you can pick up lessons in the classroom as teacher is teaching. But on the other end, like any other technology, any other tool, it has both sides of pros and cons. Other end, students get to access smart devices and internet all the time in the school, in the class, in the bus, in the home, in the bedroom, and that's a concern for us. So it is important for us to allow our children to learn to use smart devices meaningfully, productively, and that's where a lot of role has to be played by teachers, by parents and family around us, to kind of encourage children to use smartphones in a meaningful, useful, productive way.
Now, so coming to accessibility to internet, if we restrict the accessibility, do you think that we curbing technology? I mean, how do you balance it?
Yeah, see, the problem with any technology, right? For example, maybe 30 years ago, television was a big technology in our homes. As I was a young schoolboy, I was always told my parents not to watch TV all the time. But then there is also a lot of advantages for us to learn from that and then connect across the globe. Likewise, every technology has its own pros and cons. So the idea is, if you start restricting it too much to children, they'll become so curious and they'll start trying to find ways and means to access internet without parents' presence, without parental guidance, and various other ways and means actually. So the best possible way is not to restrict too much, but to allow them to use it, but also to kind of educate them, help them understand how to use it meaningfully, productively, without getting into trouble in the future.
Okay, so how accessible are parents basically to such programs? I mean, do you go about creating awareness among them, and how important is it?
Okay, so most of our program happens in schools and colleges. We do not do much in homes and societies and communities to parents, but we do once in a while when we go to schools or colleges.
But that's important.
Yeah, but true.
Probably that's where we're lacking.
Yeah, but then when we go to schools, colleges, they do invite parents to be part of such sessions, but hardly parents turn up actually. And another concern when I see in families, when I see in wedding functions, in restaurants, wherever we go in society, trains and buses, parents use smartphones. Somebody rightly said today a smartphone is a good babysitter. Right?
Absolutely.
So children are with smartphone, they're watching some programs, cartoons, some applications, games, while parents are talking to the friends or in the restaurant or in the wedding hall or in the movie theater. Everywhere, children from as early as 3 months, 4 months old are given smartphones to feed, to eat, to play. Everything today for some children happens only in the smartphone. I think that is a dangerous trend, but unfortunately we don't have a proper channel or a forum to reach out to parents and address them. So we go to schools and colleges, talk to teachers, talk to children, and then help them understand the usage of smartphones meaningfully.
Okay. So what we're seeing is, despite all the talk, despite all the awareness programs, despite so much being spoken about, the crime rate is on the rise, especially when it comes to the cyberspace. So why aren't we doing enough? Where are we lacking?
See, the place where we lack is, I think, primarily the awareness is lacking, number one, and then the understanding of parents in terms of allowing children to use smartphone continuously 24/7 is a big challenge. I would always say it lies largely on the parenting process, where parent has to watch and keenly monitor what kind of programs children watch, what kind of websites they browse, how do they use smartphones, and that kind of guidance is largely missing. And many times parents don't even know where children are in the social media and the internet. I think that is a big problem which leads to a lot of crimes, especially done by juveniles, young children over cyber, over internet.
Okay, so do you think digital wellness as a syllabus will be a good start?
I think it's very important. There are schools across the globes who have this digital wellness as a package, as a module in the class as early as 3rd, 4th standard, right? From 3rd, 4th grade itself, it's very important for us to kind of educate our children, help them learn systematically, step by step, how to use smartphones meaningfully, how to use digital platforms meaningfully, how to connect with the right kind of people, how to understand fake profiles, how to understand fake news items circulating, how to understand people who try to bully in the internet. So a lot of things has to happen at a very early age. And if you look at when I say bullying today, I see cyberbullying is a huge topic,
yes,
right?
stalking,
So people stalking on the social media, on the platforms, bullying on the platforms, exploiting young children, their innocence, it's huge menace today. I think in that sense we must have very structured curriculum in our education system from early in the primary school for our children to learn and adapt to this world of digital technology.
So you were talking about crime against minor children. Do you think that somewhere even our law enforcers are ill-equipped to handle such cases, especially when it comes to the cyberspace?
To answer your question on the law and in the law and the problems we see there, the number one reason I see is our legal system is not yet fully equipped to handle cyber crime, digital crime, and the social media crime. That's the biggest challenge, because we still have a lot of old draconian laws which is not enacted in the recent times. So legal system has to reinvent itself for the new digital age and technological world. Number two is most of the youngsters who are in social media exploit the platform and medium with various fake profiles, anonymous profiles with which they stalk, they bully, they misuse the platform. Number three is the availability of social media all the time, actually 24/7 across. You are available there, and that is one reason why you are tempted to misuse it, and that's when our legal system is really failing there to tackle these problems around us in the society.
Yeah. Also, don't you feel that the usage of tools, software for crime detection, especially in the cyberspace, is also important? That's something that they lack.
I think that's an important domain where industry has to really go deeper into it. There are a large number of ethical hackers who try to handle hacking as a problem, but whereas protection and digital wellness is a big concern today in society, I don't think anybody is really addressing that as a problem. I think maybe their concerned individuals, government or legal authorities, industries, individuals could really bring about various platforms and then technologies with which they can help children use the platform effectively.
So what would be your important advice that you would give to the parents of children?
I would tell parents, the global study says there is literally no need of access to a smartphone or a tablet or a digital device till the child reaches 2.5 to 3 years of age. Unless otherwise there is a need for a child.
3 is still young.
Unless otherwise there is a need to talk to the grandparents or elderly ones over a video call or a phone call, they say that's the only reason, only purpose why children should access phone. Number one. And then children from 3 to 7, 8 to 10 years should be helped with a lot of parental guidance in terms of using the right kind of applications or games or channels or video platforms to access and learn. And children above 10 to 12 years are the ones who might need a lot of freedom for them to use it for their real life learning purposes. So in that sense, parents should really understand to what extent they can give freedom for the children to use smartphones. As I said earlier, restricting, blocking completely will also make them restless, but allowing them to use it with a clear guideline. For example, you tell a child of who's 3-4 years old to use a smartphone maybe for 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day, 1 hour a day, only to access some music, some games or some cartoons with a lot of restrictions is what, with a lot of guided restrictions. If you make a blanket restriction, that's a problem actually. So you guide them, sit with them, and then make it part of your life actually. Don't give a smartphone to a kid and leave it alone and then go somewhere and do something else. Whenever children are using the smartphone, be with them, make it a kind of a parental together activity. You make it a fun activity. You sit with the child, teach them how things are happening, how to use a Google map when you travel to a new place, how to book a restaurant, how to book how to buy something online. You could teach them a lot of utility applications, right? In a smartphone, if you see, there are a lot of utility applications that helps us to solve our daily problems, live our life peacefully and then efficiently. So parents should really spend a lot of time in teaching children, learn those applications early in life, and then as life moves on, as they become mature, as they become elder, they could really help them also learn the meaningful other digital platforms. So I think parents being with children as long as they use smartphones is the important solution for a problem like this.
Thank you so much. Hope this works. Thank you so much.